what's up? Happy Spotify Wrapped Day. Like every year, I'm gonna go through my Spotify Wrapped, show you what I was listening to this year. I have to say, this is like the first year where I was kind of like nervous to see my Spotify Wrapped because I feel like I was just sort of listening to anything and everything this year. I felt like there was no one that I was like listening to consistently. So I didn't really know what to expect. Full disclosure, I have already looked at my Spotify Wrapped because I'm a patient and I couldn't wait. But I'm still gonna go through it. We'll talk, we'll chat, whatever. Let's get into it. We're ready for you, Alyssa. You listened, we counted. Okay, just tell me, give me the numbers, give me the numbers. I listened to 46,222 minutes. That's 32 days. I feel like that's like a pretty average number for me. So I don't know, I feel good about that number. I don't know, I'm always striving to go higher. I feel like last year I said I wanted 100,000 minutes. Not even close. Not even close, girl. Like, whoa. Tastes like yours can't be defined, but let's try anyway. I listened to 353 genres. Now that seems like a lot to me. I didn't even realize there are that many genres that existed. I also don't know what an average number is because I feel like no one posts this slide of their Spotify Wrapped. Like, how many genres is everyone else listening to? I'm very curious to know everyone else's number, but that's just not the stuff that they post. Everyone wants you to know they were listening to Morgan Wallen, but they don't want you to know how many genres they were listening to. Spotify Wrapped has only been out for a few hours. I've already had one Morgan Wallen jump scare on my Instagram stories. I've already had one. I was like, wow, I'm in enemy territory. My top genres, number one is K-pop. That's not surprising because my most listened to artists are K-pop artists. Oops. Then I have indie rock, alternative rock, hip-hop, and alternative R&B. I think that's a good mix. I feel like that kind of describes my music taste perfectly. I'm a woman of many different tastes and multitudes. What can I say? I don't know. Age is just a number, so don't take this personally. My listening age is 22. Since you're into music from the late 2010s, your taste is trending. So I'm not 22 years old, but I'm not mad at that number. I feel like that's older than people think I am by looking at me, so you know what? I'll take it. As long as people stop thinking I'm a teenager, I'm fine with it. I'll take 22. I'm actually 27.
Damn.
I know. Okay, I listened to 11,094 songs this year. That feels like a lot. Listen, I knew the number would be high because I listen to a lot of music and I'm always trying to find new music. But that's a big number. That's a big number. I don't know. Can you guess my number one? I'll give you a hint. It's been the same for the past 3 years. 2022, 2023, 2024. Oh, 4 years. 2025. This is my 4th year with this being my number one song. It's of course Nerves by DPR Ian. I listened to it 123 times. This is my favorite song of all time. I'm never going to be surprised to see it at number one. I definitely was not listening to this song as much as I have in the past. So I would not have been surprised if it slipped from its number one spot. But it did not. It's holding on to that crown very tightly. So my top 5 songs, we have Nerves by DPR Ian, we have Bad Cold by DPR Ian, Avalon by DPR Ian, The Charms by Inhaler, and Killin' It Girl solo version by J-Hope. I'm not surprised by any of these songs. Well, I think the thing I'm most surprised about my top 5 songs is the Inhaler song. I'm not surprised that Inhaler is on this list because I listen to a lot of Inhaler, not just in my own time, but also because my dad likes Inhaler, so when I'm with him, that's the music I'll play. I'm just surprised that it's The Charms out of all their songs. And then we have the playlist of my top 100 songs. I think I'm gonna do what I did last year and make a separate video going through every single song. So if you're interested in that, watch out. That'll be up whenever I edit it. I don't know. I'm not gonna make any promises on a certain date because I'm a little lazy, okay? I listened to 224 albums this year. I feel like comparing that to the number of songs I listen to, that's not that many. But also, how are they counting that? Do you have to press play on the album? Or is it any time that you play a song from the album? I don't know. I'm not gonna question it. I really don't care that much. I listened to 224 albums. That's all I know. My top album was Mood Swings Into Order by DPR Ian. I listened to it for 858 minutes. My 5 top albums were Mood Swings Into Order by DPR Ian, Mood Swings in This Order by DPR Ian, Open Wide by Inhaler, Wishbone by Conan Gray. I am surprised at the lack of Conan Gray on my Spotify Wrapped in general. I feel like I listen to that album nonstop. Whatever. And then Cuts and Bruises by Inhaler. I listened to 2,110 artists this year. So DPR Ian is my top artist. I spent 2,275 minutes with him, which makes me a top 0.3% global fan. I think that's down from years past. I'm slacking a little bit. I'm slacking. Now, my top 5 artists. Number 1 is DPR Ian, 2 is Tomorrow by Together, 3 is Inhaler, 4 is BTS, and 5 is Halsey. The only artist that I'm surprised about being here is Halsey. But I think she's there because I saw her live this year. So obviously I was like listening to like the set list and all that. That was the only one that came as a shock to me. I will say, leading up to Spotify Wrapped, I was like stressing myself out for no reason because it's really not that serious, but I was stressing myself out. The 2 artists that have been consistent in my top 5 for like years and years have been DPR Ian and BTS. And I was like, you know what? I don't think either of them are going to be in my top 5 this year. I'm like, I feel like I haven't listened to them at all. Number 1 and number 4, like, who am I kidding? Like, and now a word from one of my favorites.
I just want to say I'm so grateful that you and I got to spend some of the most toughest, some of the most loveliest, and of course, some of the most happiest moments together.
Of course.
I'm truly blessed that you have thought of me.
We're locked in for life, me and him.
Moments. It's okay if you didn't think about me too much, but I thought about you.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank you.
I wouldn't mind doing that all over again next year with some new stuff.
I'll be there. He's so sweet. I love him. All of your listening made you part of something bigger. Which club do you belong to? I'm the full charge crew. Your club is committed to the endless party. Club events are high energy, zero chill. That could not be more opposite to my personality. I'm not a partier, I'm not a clubber. I am very low energy most of the time. Don't know where we got this information from. My role, the collector. You often save music to your library, building a large club collection. That's true. I'm someone who, any song that I enjoy, I like it. So I have like almost 13,000 songs liked at the moment, and it's growing every day. I'm always adding to my collection because I'm a collector, apparently. You're in great company. 20% of global listeners are in your club. My club favorites. Now, looking at these artists, they are all people that I was listening to a lot this year. So I can see why you thought that I would enjoy a party. I just love a little upbeat song. Okay? Is that so wrong? I don't know. Okay, and then they have these stupid files, which as I said, I've already looked through them. They're saying a whole lot of nothing. And they're basically all the same. Also, the elephant in the room. Spotify, I'm under your bed. Like, cut it out. Here's one example. The day you ran a relay from K-pop sunrise to 2000s pop punk. Like, what are we talking about? Why am I running? Not to go off topic, this marathon propaganda that I keep seeing on every single social media, I'm not having it, I'm not running. You will never get me to run anywhere. And that's that. That's my Spotify Wrapped. Let's actually, let's look through my playlist a little bit because there are some things I want to talk about there. I like how they put how many times you played each song this year. They don't usually do that. They did it this year. I like that. However, I don't know if I'm just so oblivious to my own listening habits. These numbers don't seem correct. Like, how is Nerves the only song I listen to over 100 times? At the bottom of my list, the songs all have 17 listens each. I feel like that's nothing. I feel like there's so many songs I listen to more than those that aren't on this list at all. What do I know? I don't have the data. Spotify does. I don't know. But also, I feel like this list is like all from the first half of the year. There are songs on here that I have not listened to in literal months. And I'm curious to know when they stopped tracking. Because I feel like some albums that came out in November should have had songs that are on here. Because I was listening to those a lot. Gnarly by Cat's Eye being next to Bring Me the Horizon is like kind of hilarious to me. That's the duality of man right there. Like I said, I'll make a separate video going through all 100 songs on my playlist. But that's that. That's my Spotify Wrapped. Not very different from years past, but still fun to look at. Yeah, let me know what your Spotify Wrapped looks like. I'm very curious. And then that's all I have for you. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!